This is Adam King from Aliens Don't Ring Doorbells, and you're listening to Madness to Creation.
Go ahead, say it.
Welcome once again to another edition of the Madness to Creation podcast. This is Maddie, and I'm really excited to have this next guest with us. And he is one incredible drummer. Not only he does the drumming, he does some of the keyboarding and programming for this awesome band called We Three. And We Three is just this incredible sibling band out of Oregon. You probably have heard them from America's Got Talent. And recently they have released their music video for Secrets. And I apologize for not getting this up sooner. Just a lot of things going on. And it's just one of those things, like, I have been just mentally exhausted. I've been just running, burning the candle at both ends, and essentially I took a couple days to rest, and now I feel refreshed. I feel like I can just produce so much better content, and I just feel like that sometimes in order to produce the best content I can for Madness Creation and for my listeners is that I have to sometimes just step away, even just for a couple days, and whether it's to meditate, whether it's just to rest, and everything like that. And naturally, I went to work. I work full time, and I just took care of what I need to. And when I got home, I just decided just to lay in my bed, get as much sleep as possible, and just practice that self-care. And that is such a tip I have for you all. Is that whether you're a musician, whether you are a music listener, that you make sure that you take care of your wellness and your self-care. Making sure that you make those little goals for yourself. If you are like recovering, make sure that you are just taking care of your well-being. Try something new. What I sometimes do is I have a list of things I'm grateful for. First of all, I'm grateful to God. Without Him, I wouldn't have the confidence. I wouldn't be able to do the things in my life that I'm so blessed to do. So, and I mean, if you don't believe, I still love you no matter what. I love you just for the fact that you're listening and that you're listening with an open mind and everything like that. And also, just having that connection, whether it's, I know we're in the coronavirus pandemic right now, but we have such awesome ways to connect, like whether it's through Discord, whether it's through Zoom, or whether it's through the telephone, FaceTime, just connecting virtually, even if not in person. And that means having real conversations with people, not just through text messages, but seeing the person face to face through FaceTime or through Zoom. I really want to encourage you to do that. And in this conversation with We Three, those are just a couple of tips I have for you. In this conversation with We Three, we speak to Joshua Humlie, and he is such a inspiring person to listen to and everything like that. And he talks about just how much the fan base means to him. He also talks about the Secrets music video, and I'll tell you what, I will have a review of Dear Paranoia that's going to go on the Madness to Creation website, and please check that out at madnesstocreation.com, and I will share with you a few of my thoughts on the review. And to give you a little bit of spoiler alert, I shed a few tears listening to the music because they are just one of the most real, authentic bands I have ever heard in my life. And this band wants to help people with their music and through their messages and everything like that. And you know what, guys? It's okay not to be okay. But like I said, make those little goals for yourself and be kind to yourself. Do not beat yourself up. Do not let the world get you down. The world is beating us up enough as it is. Do not let the world get you down even further. If there is that little moment of joy, embrace that joy. And also, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm looking for 200 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm looking for some followers on Spotify and everything like that. And I really want to connect with you and everything like that. I will answer any email. I'll answer any comments, anything like that. And check out We Three Music We3 at We3 Music, and on their Instagram, their Facebook, and their Twitter. And I'll tell you what, they do connect with their fans, especially on Instagram, so they're a great follow. Without further delay, here is my conversation with Joshua Humlie, drummer for We3. Take it, Josh.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Josh?
Doing well. Yeah, doing well.
Awesome.
It's a rainy day here in Oregon, and we're about 40 miles south of Portland. So, as usual, it's nice and rainy.
Yeah, very nice. And I was gonna say it's kind of freezing rain over here in Iowa, and so that might have a little bit of something to do with it. So,
sure. Okay.
It's been just kind of. It's unpredictable weather. It comes with Iowa and everything. Like everything is just so unpredictable anymore. So with COVID and everything like that. And but I was gonna say, thank you for taking the time to interview with me again. And And first of all, I just got to ask you, how did you find out about Madness Creation?
I think what happened is because I think did you reach out to us?
We did last year. No, actually in 2019, you had a show in Pennsylvania, and one of my photographers covered your show, and she absolutely loved you guys live.
Great, that's so cool. So I think our management team got in touch with. I'm not sure if it was you or somebody on your team or your photographer.
Yeah, it was a lady by name of Sue with Palawan Promotions. I probably butchered the name, so sorry, Sue, if you heard that. So I butchered the name. So, I was like, we are starting a project, and it's actually a real cool project. It's going to go to Music Cares and National Suicide Prevention Foundation, and it's basically going to be a book. And working title is going to be Lighthouses from a Dark Distance, perspective from musicians on how they've overcame, through the trials and struggles in life. And I wanted to just kind of start off, if you don't mind, for the project, asking you just kind of the three questions. We can ask them now, or we can talk about the music first and then go from there.
Whatever you prefer. Yeah, I'm down.
Awesome. And the first question I have for you is what is the soundtrack to your life? It could be a band, a song, or an album. And if you could elaborate a little bit on that.
The soundtrack of my life, you said?
Mm-hmm. It could be like an album that's gotten you through when times get difficult, or a song that you go to, or something like that.
Yeah, man, that's a good one. I think it's definitely changed over the years. As what, as typically happens, I would say. I think right now, one that I really enjoy is Harry Styles' Fine Line album.
Okay.
Just love, for obvious reasons, but just love it. There's not a track on there that I don't love. And it's just so diverse. It's just everything's changing. It just keeps your interest the whole time. And not only that, but just some deeper concepts, and then also just I think more than anything, just the sonic landscape for me is just beautiful. I just love the production of the whole album. So anyway, I think that's mine right now. It'll probably change in a couple months.
But I was gonna say that's a very good choice. And tell us about a time that was really difficult for you, and what did you do to rise above?
Good question. Well, there's, as life goes, there's numerous difficult times, and I would say probably one was a couple of years ago, when I just got really, really down and really discouraged, and it had kind of built up over a few years, and I didn't realize what it was, but all of a sudden I'm just really depressed and really just questioning, what am I doing here? What's my purpose? I just didn't have any reason I felt sometimes, honestly, it felt like I just didn't have any reason to wake up in the morning. Just waking up was really, really tough.
Wow.
Getting out of bed was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a super, if anybody knows me, I'm a super positive person. I like to think of myself as a realist, but I definitely probably would lean more towards the optimist category.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, people find that surprising, but yeah, it was a really difficult time. And like I said, I couldn't put my finger on it. I think that was one of the most discouraging things, because I really like to get to the bottom of things and figure out, okay, what's the issue here, identify it, and then, be able to move on. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't figure it out. And I think what I had, finally, I just realized, okay, something has got to break. Like I've got to do something. Something's got to change. This is just not good. And so, I started just really changing up my routine. And so I would wake up, and I actually started doing, for me, this helps. And for other people, I've heard other people like, hey, no, I can't do that. But, I just started being quiet, getting to a quiet space. I have this space heater that I love, and I just turn on my space heater, set my timer for 5 minutes, and I just chilled. I didn't think about, I meditated was really what I was doing. I was, not thinking about anything was the goal, just to kind of let your mind take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I'm a kind of a recovering workaholic, and it's just always going boom, 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 and, my mind's just filled with a lot of shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. A lot of expectations. And, so this just gave me this space, just 5 minutes in the morning where I just chilled. I really tried to push those shoulds aside, mm-hmm. And just gave myself a mental break. And that 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes, which turned into 15, 30 minutes. And that, starting my day with that was huge for me. And that just gave my brain space to be able to kind of reset, I feel like, mm-hmm. in a way. And I started to realize that, yeah, I had just been, over the last, few years, had just been piling in all of these expectations, unrealistic expectations on myself, and all of these shoulds. And I was shooting all over myself, as the saying goes. And I finally just got to a point where I realized that, I need to be comfortable with the person that I am now. And I have a lot of aspirations, things that I want to do in the future, but I'm not there yet. I'm here. I got to acknowledge I'm here, be comfortable and confident with who this person is, and then slowly start working towards the person that I want to become. And because it's a journey, it's a lifelong journey.
Sure is.
And so that was really helpful for me, and just kind of sitting in the space, the uncomfortable space. And for some people, again, they can't do that, but I just needed that time to myself, where I wasn't trying to figure out what was wrong, but I was just sitting in it and being okay with who I was at that point. So, yeah, that was a practical thing for me, meditating in the morning and setting that timer. Setting that timer was key. I was talking to somebody else about this. I don't know who it was. I was talking to somebody else about this, setting that timer. Because if I didn't set the timer, then it was like, oh, I can go for more. I can do 10 minutes. I can go longer. I can go longer. So I needed that. Like, okay, 5 minutes, and then I'm done. So I could achieve that every morning. So, yeah, a lot of other things, but that was one thing really helpful for me.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I loved how you really talked about the meditation and all that. That's basically what this book is going to kind of cover. I'm kind of mixing a mix of like chicken soup for the soul, but it's going to be for like the musicians that are on the road and for the music lover as well, and having some self-help from actual psychologists and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a vision that I'm having for it. So I want to thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm going to hold a thought on that one, just kind of so I can just kind of keep an order here. And do you have what message do you have for potential readers of this book who need that pick-me-up, that might be struggling or going through some depression, anxiety, substance abuse, whatever it may be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think first, acknowledging that you're not alone is huge. Because I think that's one thing that depression can do is it separates you, pushes you away, and you become isolated. And once you lose that, and you isolate yourself, and you forget that you're not alone, that there's tons of people around. And now we have the internet. So if you can't find somebody, your neighbor or your best friend isn't, they're not experiencing the same thing. Man, there's so many people online. It's crazy. So I think that's the first thing is knowing that you're not alone. And then secondly, just knowing that you have value. And we all, I believe, have been put on this earth to with the potential of doing great, awesome, amazing things. And so, knowing that you have value, that you're loved, that you're not alone. I think those are some of the biggest things right away that I would say. And from there, like there's always hope. Always hope. Even when it doesn't feel like it, there really is. That's another thing. Another one would be don't stop talking to people. Always ask for help. Get out there, ask for help. Even if you feel like you've run out of your lifelines, there are people who can help. And on our Instagram, there's a link to an organization that we've been connected with, and they're called Lifeline. And if people are ever having issues, they can go there, and there's tons of others as well. I'm sure you know some. But where people can go and call and just like talk to somebody who knows, who can give them help and connect them with resources. So.
Awesome, Josh. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing about Lifeline. Thank you so much for just answering those 3 questions for me. It's really appreciated and just shows that you have a genuine concern for those that struggle with mental health issues and all that. And one thing I'm excited about with We 3 is just seeing you guys grow from America's Got Talent to where you guys are at now, and just seeing the evolution of the process. It almost feels like you guys kind of do it your way in a way, instead of just always answering to commercial success, and,
sure.
And January 22nd, you guys have a single coming out called, is it a single or an album? I was a little bit confused by that. It's called,
it's a single coming out.
It's a single coming out called Secrets. Take us into that song and take us into the writing process of the music and just anything you would like to share on that.
Yeah. Well, this is a song that we're really excited about. It's a song that Manuel wrote a few months back. And it's a different it's really special. It's a different sound, bit of a different sound for us. And it goes to a really intense place. He said it really good just the other day. We were kind of talking about it and explaining it. And he was saying that it's really from that place of like, everybody has secrets. Everybody has things that you are afraid to share, and this song is an anthem for being vulnerable and being courageous in your vulnerability, because those things go hand in hand.
Okay.
So anyway, that's kind of, that's the message behind that song. And so we're super excited to share that with everybody. Cause again, it's just that goes back to that old adage that you're not alone. So we love to share that message and just remind people that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's such an important message to share. And is this a prelude to what's coming up next for We 3, or like, is there going to be an album coming out, or is that something you can't really divulge yet?
Yeah. Honestly, we don't have plans. There's a lot of new music in 2021, tons of new music. We haven't decided yet though how it's all going to be shared, but it will definitely be shared, whether that's singles or whether that's a project. It's hard to plan anything these days. So
it sure is. And speaking of planning things these days, how have your band had to adjust with COVID-19? And because obviously every artist band's MO is playing live in front of people. And how have you had to adjust to that? And what was some of the difficult challenges you had to overcome in terms of promotion?
Yeah. Well, I think we didn't realize it until a few months into the lockdown, but we hadn't not performed. I mean, longer than I can remember. Like I don't remember a time when we weren't able perform in front of people and have that energy of a live show. Mm-hmm. And so we're kind of going through withdrawals. Really weird because, we grew up, we've always played together, and we've always played together in front of people. And so this is the first time that we haven't been able to do that. So that's been really weird. And it's really forced us to do things in-house, because you can't reach out to people. You don't have the producers that you're used to working with. You don't have the management, the team and stuff that you're used to working with. And so we've really had to do things in-house. And so we've been doing just a lot more of the production in-house, a lot of the show preparations in-house. When we're putting together show when we finally do get to go on tour, we're doing that. And so we're putting together all of that stuff. And we've always done that, but it's kind of ramped it up the next level. So I think what I'm excited about that is that I think the music and the presentation that's coming out now, how we're presenting the music, is more authentically us than it ever has been. So that's pretty cool. I think that's one thing that this season has forced us to do, So yeah, I'm trying to think. You had another question wrapped in there I forgot about.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. The question I had was how, first of all, how awesome our concert's going to be when this is all said and done, this pandemic's over and all that. So what's the one thing that you're looking forward to when you return to that stage?
Oh man, honestly, I love when we first walk onto the stage. I just love that moment of anticipation. There's just an electricity in the air. It's so hard to put into words. And it's fun because after having performed for so long, it just, and when it's just a part of who you are, you're definitely nervous, but those nerves and those butterflies, it's different. It's an energy, and I think an electricity is just the best way I can describe it.
Oh, sure.
So, there's just a connection between the audience and the performer. And I can't wait for that moment again, just walking up on the stage and that moment when we get to hit that first note together.
Honestly, I'm probably going to have tears in my eyes when it's the first show, whoever that may be. It kind of makes me realize what we take for granted, and like, speaking of your connection with your fans, can you give us a story on like where a fan came up to you, since our podcast is mainly about music and mental health, where a fan basically said, "Your music saved my life." How did you react, and what was the story, if you can remember?
Dang, there's so many. We still get messages. Since AGT, that was a big platform for us, and so we got a lot of music out and a lot of word out there. A lot of people got exposed to the music, and so since then we have had messages pretty constantly just about how the music has impacted them, helped them through difficult times, loss of family members. But one in particular, I would say, it was a show. Where were we? I think it was in California, and it was back in 2018 when we were doing our Lifeline show, or 2019. Sorry, when we were doing our Lifeline tour. And we finished the show. We had this meet and greet afterwards, and the meet and greet is like next to getting on the stage in that first moment. It's probably my next favorite.
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
Getting to see people and interact with people, and I love it. And a big part is the stories. And so you were getting to meet all these people and talking with them and hugging, pre-COVID, hugging and shaking hands and stuff. And this young guy came up and just said, "You guys, I just have to tell you, Lifeline, your song Lifeline, literally saved my life." And
wow.
So much so that like I wrote a rap that was inspired by Lifeline. And so it's kind of a hybrid of Lifeline and then his story. And we're like, wow. Seriously, it's amazing. And can you sing it for us, or can you rap it for us? And he was like super hesitant, but he's like, okay, I'll do it. And it was the sweetest thing. And he was so courageous. And in front of all of these people, he just went for it and just poured out his heart and sang this thing. And man, my eyes were wet by the end of it. I just couldn't believe it. So yeah, that moment gives me, just talking about it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, that about made me tear up just hearing that story. And what you got planned for the rest of the year? Like, what New Year's resolutions did you have? Like,
oh man, resolutions. I honestly haven't made any resolutions. But I'm just excited to make more music, create more stuff for people. And honestly, the biggest thing, I guess if I was to say I have a New Year's resolution, it would be to perform a show. That's it. Just one live show. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That'll get me through the rest of the year.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you're on tour, I'd love to come get a ticket and see you guys in Iowa.
For sure. Yeah, we'll get you a ticket. That'd be rad.
Yeah, it would be so awesome. And just a couple more questions I have, because I understand that you have other interviews and stuff like that. And
yeah, man, you're good. Thanks.
What, looking back on America's Got Talent to now, looking back on your career, I make you sound like you're old, but you're not. What is the one thing that you're most proud of? Whether it's your personal accomplishment or as a band as a whole?
That's a good question. Actually, somebody just asked us that in their last interview. And so there's a lot of things that I'm proud of. There's a lot of things I'm not proud of. But one of the things I'm proud of, I would say this right now, is that we're still together doing this. It can be a tricky thing to, just be in a band. There's so many dynamics and so many, just when you have to be creative with people, it's tricky, and I think that's honestly one reason why you don't see tons of bands right now. There's a lot of solo artists who are doing a lot of collabs, but you don't see as many bands these days, I feel like. And
I agree.
So on top of that, we're family, being siblings, it brings us a whole new set of challenges and, but also rewards. And so I think something I'm super proud of is just that we've been doing this for as long as we have. Cause it's been, officially as We Three, it's been like a little over 10 years, but we've been doing this for 20 years. And that's I'm really proud of us for having made it this far. So
yeah. When it's all said and done, let's say it's 50 years down the road, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh man, I would say that's, it sounds cheesy, but just that I loved the heck out of everybody I came in contact with. And yeah, just that people knew me as somebody who loved fiercely. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And what else would you like to add that we have not covered? I know we covered a lot of ground, but if there's anything you feel like that's missing.
One thing I would love to say is we actually are getting to do a live show. I don't know how many people are going to be able to be in the audience, but it's going to be at least a live virtual show. And that's going to be on January 23rd. And this show is going to be unlike anything that we've really done before. We've got just so many new elements that we've not had into a show before, and our hands on just every little piece of this show. It's all choreographed. It's going to be really, really cool. And we've got a camera crew that's coming in that's going to be just filming it from different angles and vantage points, and it's going to, it's going to be really fun. So we're stoked for that, and it's going to be at this beautiful theater in town. We're in the area. We're really excited about that. So that's January 23rd.
What time?
2 showings. We've got 12 p.m. PST, so 12 PST, and then 5 PST.
Awesome. I have it in my calendar, in my Google Calendar,
Rad.
So I'll get a notification. I'll pick up a ticket and watch it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
great, man.
Yeah, Josh, I want to thank you so much for your time to interview with me for Madness Creation. This was so much fun. So thank you so much. Whatever you need, we got you.
For sure, Maddie. Hey, I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you on the 23rd.
Absolutely. All right, have a good one.
You too, man.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.